Greetings, friends, family, and survivors. Been stuck on the homestead for a few days, so I thought I'd try to get some things done. Doesn't make sense to leave with wildfire all around. 140,000 acres this morning. So 140,000 acres from flash point to 140 in 3.5 days. That's substantial fire growth. And the wind's supposed to pick up a little bit in the afternoon. It's possible going to rain Tuesday, but it won't be very appreciable. So the problem is it'll bring wind with it. And if we have a typical September Indian summer, then we could be doing this for a while. So I'm working on this park model trailer, and our intention is to haul it up on the mountain in June. Don't know really what we're going to do yet. We did rebuild the floor in here, and it's serviceable. And we'll put the wood stove in it when we get it over there. So this is the first time I've actually ever leveled the trailer. So I'm just starting to caulk it and seal it up and put some new light fixtures on it. Going to look at the roof, and we're going to have to buy some tires for it before spring. And then I thought, before I go too much farther, I really ought to charge the propane and the water system and make sure it doesn't have any broken pipes and all of that. We don't want any surprises when we get up on the mountain. But here's what I'm thinking. As hard as it's been on me to travel back and forth putting in the septic system and the fence, my back is just absolutely shot. And I've been doing really, really good until the weather changed. And you can't tell the weather changed, but I can tell the weather changed. And sure enough, it's possibly going to rain in about 3 or 4 days from now. And so the idea of falling timber and building another house with these remote distances and at my age, with my health, I was talking to Carol about it, saying, you know, maybe we need to rethink this. Maybe it would be better we'll build the shop and the barn, fall the timber and build those. But maybe what we need to do is get a manufactured home. And I don't mean an aluminum siding one. I mean a double wide with standard stick framing. They're just shipped in on axles, and they take the axles off and set them down on a footing. And if we could find a reasonable used one, and I've seen some, we might do something like that. If I could get something for maybe 10 or 15,000, a used one. So that's what a friend of mine, Jerry, did. He got a great deal on his, and he bought a piece of land that had a mobile on it, a septic and a well. So he cleaned it up. He bid on it really low. He won it. And you know him as Pine Meadow Hobby Farm. And Jerry, I hope you're still at home. I haven't heard. I know the fire was about 4 miles from you. Your fire, yeah, who doesn't? Yeah, I just watching Fox News this morning. It was saying that 10% of Oregon is fleeing wildfire. 10% of the population is having to leave because of wildfire. So that's a mess, isn't it? So I was thinking, since the whole scope and reason of my being at the new homestead, and I haven't shared with you the reason, but let me put it this way. I'm being sent, and I'm answering a call. And I'll leave it right there because I haven't made an announcement to the church yet. So I'll just leave it there. But the scope has changed, and that being the case, I will not have time to build a house. It's not going to happen. Probably could build a shop and a barn. I'm not going to be able to build a house. That would require, you know, every ounce of strength that I have going towards that for several years, and that's not going to happen. So when I get liberty, I'd like to make the announcement to the church what we're doing before I share it with my YouTube friends. And then I'll share with you guys what the Lord is doing with Carol and I. So hopefully I'll be able to get this buttoned up before winter and fix the rest of the dry rot, and then focus on some other things. And then come June, the plan is to, or earlier, whenever the thaw comes, you can't haul it up there in snow. There's no reason to do that. But until I can actually dig up there to put in the water lines from the well up to the solar shed, you got to wait for the thaw. So it's an interesting country. The reason why they make you finish the septic system excavating kind of thing by October 1st is because typically that's when you get your first rain. And in that area, the first rain is a gully washer. And on the heels of that first rain is a flash freeze. And then you're done. The next thaw will be mid-January for a couple of weeks. And then it goes back to frozen again. So once you get that flash freeze, you're not digging anything. And that flash freeze always comes on the heels of the first appreciable storm. And they know that, and that's why they say, you know, you're done. You can get an extension, but it doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be able to finish. So that's why we had the big push trying to get it done. So no sense in trying to get up there too early. If I can't dig the water lines until May, April, May, the very earliest, possibly June. It just depends. It's cold country. Yep. So that's what we've, you know, things are in a state of flux. I'm kind of on a need-to-know basis. It takes me a while to figure things out. But I eventually get it figured out. My life is not my own. I go where I'm told to go. That's it. My life for his life for my life. It works for me. It works for me. So I'll share with you, after we make an announcement to the church what we're doing, I'll share with you the scope of what God has for Carol and I. Hopefully that'll be coming up in a few weeks. And this fire and COVID-19 and civil unrest, all of that stuff, this too shall pass. All right. Have a blessed day. Keep looking up.